Hey guys, hope everyone's okay. I think we are live. Yes. Okay, cool. So just gonna have a little read through some of the messages, see where everyone is from. Good morning from Melbourne. Wow. North Yorkshire, Kansas, New Jersey, Bavaria. Oh, I used to have a cheese from Bavaria. I think it was Bavarian Blue. Is amazing. Las Vegas, Switzerland. Welcome, music theory friends. Good morning from New Zealand. Great rugby team. Always beat us Welsh all the time. Lakewood, North Shields, Highly and Community. We've got Sweden. Guernsey. What time is it there? So I'm in Wales, Cardiff, Wales, and it is 7:15. Okay, guys, so I've got some questions. I'm going to be filling in today to start with for Justin, who can't make in this session. So bear with me a little bit. I'm going to do my best to answer your questions the best I can. So I've got a few questions, and I'm sure there'll probably be some questions along the way as well regarding the questions that we're going to look at here, okay? Okay, then. So the first question I thought was really good was about learning the fretboard. So there wasn't a name with this student. It wasn't a name, but the question was, what's the best way to learn the fretboard in relation to scales and chord theory? Okay, so I do this. There's two sides to this, right? There's kind of theory side of it, and then there's the fretboard knowledge side of it. So before you can kind of start seeing this stuff on the fretboard, you need to kind of like understand it theoretically first. So once you understand it theoretically, we then kind of like, or the way I like to kind of go about things is I'll then kind of visualize that theory within the caged system. So hopefully some of you have heard of the cage system. Okay, so I've got a couple of little bits and bobs here that I'm going to try and jump into. Let me just come down here. Okay. So as I said, it's important that you understand an element of theory first. So I'm not sure where everyone in this group, what you all understand. So I'm going to go into this here, believing that you kind of understand what a major scale is, what a major key is, the chords in a major key, because that's the stuff that we're kind of going to be looking at, kind of applying to the fretboard. So just to read out the question again, what's the best way to learn the fretboard in relation to scales and theory? So the way I go about it then, okay, say we're playing, I'll come down here so you can see what's what. Say we're playing, we'll start off in the key of G major, okay? So I tend to, when I play the scales, a G major scale, so I'm using what's known as the cage system, all right? So the cage system is essentially, it's 5 chords played up the neck. Starting with the C chord, we've got an A chord, a G chord, an E chord, and a D chord. So if we played in the key of G, I'd recommend learning the cage system. So then you can play the G major scale, which you know is going to be a G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, sorry, and back to G, right? So with that, let's start off, actually, we won't start yeah, we'll start with the E shape, all right? So just grab a pen and paper, and so we've got the word caged, okay, which is C, A, G, E, and D. All right, C, A, G, E, and D. Now, each of these letters represent a chord shape. So the C represents the C chord shape. The A represents the A chord shape. The G, the E, and the D, the G, E, and D chord shapes, okay? So just so that you know, the E shape is also known as position 1. The D shape is known as position 2. C is position 3. A is position 4. And the G is known as position 5. So they've all got like a certain position, right? So obviously the word caged, it kind of rolls off the tongue quite straightforwardly, caged, right? Back in the day, though, I did see some DVD courses selling it as the ED CAG, so Ed CAG, so the Ed CAG system. But the Ed CAG system doesn't quite roll off the tongue like the cage system, right? So we're going to start, though, with this system here. We're going to start with the E, just because it's also known as position 1. Okay? So if I go back to the guitar here, we're playing in the key of G, right? So let me just jot down the notes in G major. So key of G major. Okay, so let's just see. Somebody's from Blackwood in South Wales. My grandparents from Blackwood. So we've got 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So even if you can't see this properly just now, I'll hold it up in a second. So the notes in the key G major, we're going to have a G, A, B, C, D, E, and an F sharp, okay? So they are the notes in the key of G major. Now, the way I go about learning all of these notes here, I don't see each note on the fretboard as a G, an A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp. Instead, what I do is I will see each of these notes as a root, a 2, a 3, a 4, 5, a 6, and a 7. So actually a root, a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. So I will see each of the notes on the fretboard as those there. So I'll know we're playing a G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp, but I'll be visualizing all the notes as a root, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, okay? So if we just go to the if we go back to the key G major on the guitar, starting with our E shape to start with, because, you know, Ed CAG, right? Hopefully that's not too loud. Turn that down a little bit. So if you look at this, this is the good old classic bar chord with a root note starting just here. If you look at the shape of the chord, turn that up there. If you look at these 3 fingers, hopefully you can see, if you imagine that this first finger is a bar, hopefully you can see that these 3 fingers here, they are an E. They make an E shape, okay? Like if I take this bar chord back 1 fret, back another fret, and then back 1 more fret, here, you can see, hopefully, that the 3 fingers make up an E-shaped chord. Obviously, you play the E shape using these 3 fingers here instead, rather than those 3. But obviously, if you're playing up the fretboard, we need the first finger to play the bar, and then these 3 fingers will play the E shape, which is a major chord, right? Okay, so in this position here, my cat's going to want to go out of the room now. Give me a second. Go on then. And she's gone. All right. So with in this position here then, right, we can play a bunch of different scales, arpeggios, different chords, all in this one position here, right? So the major scale, the position 1 major scale, the E shape major scale goes like this. So I'm not going to go through that one note at a time because you don't really need to know it in order for me to answer this question. But just know that when I'm playing this here, this is just the way that I like to do it, and I think it's the easiest way. I'm not thinking, I got a G note. I'm not thinking I got an A note. I'm not thinking I got a B. I'm thinking all of these notes here, I'm thinking of them as the scale degree, okay? Like a root, I got my 5, I got a 3, I got a 1, a 5, I got a 6, I got a 2. So I can find all those notes there super quickly using the scale degrees, the root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And the beauty with this cage system is that, say we were to change key to, I don't know, let's go up to here, completely different part of the neck. We're now playing in the key of, anyone know? 8th fret here. Does anyone want to take a guess, or does anyone know what that is? I'm guessing this is a music theory class, so a lot of you will know. What note is that? So there's a slight delay on the messages coming through. So yes, a C. Cool. So if I play this this E-shaped chord from this root note of C, I get a C chord, right? Now if I play the C major scale, obviously it's the same pattern. For this chord here, I play the same pattern of note as I would play here. All right. So now the only thing is, now that I'm playing in the key of C major, what notes is this major scale going to consist of? They're going to be slightly different from these ones, right? Obviously this note here now, the first note is a C. This is a D, E, F, G, A, B, and back to C. So it's a different set of notes. So again, I'm not thinking, when I'm taking the theory of, you know, the key of C major or whatever and applying it to the fret, but I'm not actually thinking about the notes in C major specifically. I'm thinking again where the root notes are, where the 5s are, where the 3s are, where the 7s, the 6s, because if I play here, obviously that's a C note, that's an E note, right? If I go back to here and I play the same 2 notes essentially in regards to the scale, I got a G and a B, so they're different notes. Whereas if I think of this first note here as a root note, and this one is my 3rd, I can do the same here, my root and my 3rd. Or I can go to any, I can go to, like, say, B flat, root, 3rd. It's always the same. So what I would do is, if you're looking to apply your knowledge of theory, major scale theory, to the fretboard, I would look into learning the cage system, because we just touched upon the E shape there. We've also got a D shape here, which has a different set of notes there. We've got a C shape here. So if you look, this finger, and this finger, they make up a C. If I put like a bar like that, you'll see it a bit better. You get all those notes. Then again, it's the same thing. My root, my 3, etc. If I go here, you'll know this one. This is a good old A shape. But again, you get the scale notes around there. And again, you're learning root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, because it doesn't matter then where I play this A shape chord. If I play it there off of the 10th fret, G major, right? But if I play it here, it's a D major, right? So, but the notes remain the same in regard to the root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's just root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root, etc. 2, 3, root. So somebody's asking if this only works for standard tuning. Well, there's a set, you know, for each scale position you work through, from the E, the D, etc. There's a specific pattern of notes that you play. You know, you'd have the second finger to the pinky, finger 1, 2, 3, and it's the same pattern all the time for the E shape. So if all of a sudden then I change the strings to an open tuning, obviously that pattern of fingers is no longer going to work. It's just going to sound really weird. So the thing is with open tunings, they are kind of just, they're their own thing essentially. Like I like sometimes tuning to an open tuning, but when I do, I have absolutely no idea what it is that I'm doing, and I'll just play around and just find some nice things, and it's all by ear, which is quite nice, because once you get the cases, then you start to like understand the fretboard in relation to the theory that you've learned really comfortably, and that's really cool. But then sometimes it's quite cool to kind of just not know any of that, tune to an open tuning, and then just play around, because you'll just be hitting dead notes. It's really hard to improvise in an open tuning if you're quite new to it. But it's so much fun just to kind of play around and try and find some nice little sounds that work. So yeah, so that's what I would do in relation to answer the question of how you would kind of like take the theory, you know, and apply it to the fretboard. I would do it through the cage system, and taking each note from a scale, like C, D, E, F, G, A, B in the key of C major, and then just referring and learning, you know, the scale degrees in that position. Because as I said, you know, you just move it around, and you can find the scale degree really, really quick. And that's really handy, because say, for example, if you're playing, let's see if I can get rid of that. If I was to play something like, just A minor to D, right? So when I play that A minor, this A minor chord here, which was that chord, right? I played it like this, because I know where like certain notes are, such as I know the root is here, I got a flat 3 here, I've got a 5 there, because I know where the root notes are. If I was to play a lick over this, there's the D, back to the A. So because I know where like the root notes, the flat 3s are for both this chord, this A minor chord, and this D minor, I'm able to target those kind of notes then when I'm jamming or improvising or whatever, or writing a solo. And that's where it really, really helps, I think. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so Ron, my question about time, a lot of people get confused if a particular song is 6/8 or 12/8. Can you give some guidelines? Yeah, I've got that one on there as well. So it can be fiddly 12/8 and 6/8, because they're both like a compound time. So you count them in kind of like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. They get that feel, right? So let's take, say, a 12-bar blues. All right, let's take a look at this. So say we've got a 12-bar blues in which we have 12 bars, right? So I'm just going to write out 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I was to write this out here, and let's do it in, say, 6, 8, all right? So that's how we'd write out the time signature if we're playing in 6/8. So the number on the top, number 6, that refers to the amount of beats per bar. And the 8 on the bottom, that refers to what beat it is, essentially. So the 8 isn't, that's my cat, hang on. Come on, Susie, come on in. Okay, so the 6 on the top refers to how many beats, all right? And the 8 on the bottom, that means an 8th note, okay? So obviously, if there was a 4 on the bottom, that'd mean a quarter note. So the number on the top, the amount of beats per bar, the number on the bottom, the quality of the note. So if we're playing in 6/8 here, all right, we're going to have 6 8th notes per bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all right? So let's do, say, a 12-bar blues in A, all right? So we'll do a simple version. We'll just do 4 A7s, 2 D7s, 2 A7s, 1 E7, 1 D7, 1 A7, and 1 E7, okay? So if I was to play that through there, okay, 6/8, each bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you make sure I don't kind of upset my cat. Okay, so let's see. Let me, yeah, okay. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 6, 1. Let me count that out loud and grab a pick, actually. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, so that's kind of like a 6/8 feel. So I'm playing each bar for 6 8th notes. Whereas if I was to change that, to say 12/8, all that means is that this bar now lasts for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my writing is not too bad. So 12/8, you just add 12 strums, 12 8th notes per bar. So if I was to play this a bit different, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the difference is essentially, if I was to play, let's try. Don't want that drive on there, do we? So let's do something like just G, simple G to C, right? 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. So then 12/8 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So essentially, that's the way that I see 6/8 and 12/8 kind of panning out really. So does that kind of answer the question? Like sometimes you could say that if you're playing in 12/8, you could, you could still count it in 6 and think of it as 2 bars of 6/8 with say an A chord. But I don't know, it's a bit weird. I think if you just count the beats, if you can feel the kind of like the pulse, a lot of the time the chords will let you know kind of like what time you're playing in with the duration, just like we kind of looked at there. So I hope that helps. Okay, so can you please show us a 12 and a 12/6? A 12, can you please show us a 12? What do you mean by that? Like a, show the same in 4/4. Ooh, 12/6. So you don't really get a 6th note. So 12/8, don't forget, right? That means 12 beats, and the 8 refers to 8th notes. You get 12 8th notes. So you don't really get 6th notes as such. Not in a kind of, I think he means a song in 6/8 and a song in 12/8. Okay, I'll have to research that. Probably do a Google search and kind of just pop it in. Or even if you go on to like, yeah, I think a Google search songs in 6/8 and then Google songs in 12/8 and just listen to the difference. A lot is down to the composer. 12/8 could be 4/4 with a swing feel. Yeah, that's true. There's lots of different ways that you can kind of go about, kind of like counting certain things. Is it using this? Is it using that time signature? It's the same with like keys as well sometimes. You've got the relative majors and minors, C major, A minor. C major, A minor. Relative majors and minors is sometimes hard to know exactly what key some songs are in. Okay, so I'm just going to jump into another question. So transposing and capo usage. So this is by Sten. So the question is, after watching Lieven's lesson, I'd like to know more about how this works. How does transposing without a capo make it easy to sing when it's a circle of notes and I might be going back around? Also, how does it change if I capo and play the original shapes? Okay, so say we take, let me grab my capo. So say we've got, say we've just got a song, right, consisting of 2 chords, C to a G. I'll play this G. Okay, so C, 1, 2, 3. We're doing a 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So you say you're singing that there, and it's a little bit too low for your voice. We can simply take a capo. When you play this G chord here, let's go back to the C. When you play this C chord here, right, the notes in this C chord are going to be C, E, and G, and a C and an E. Okay, so just C, E, and G. C, E, and G. Okay. You can also, cage system speaking, you can see these notes here as being a root, a 3, a 5, a root, and a 3. So that's the way that I visualize the notes in this chord. Again, it's root 2, 3, 4. Root 3 and a 5. But you can know that it's a C, an E, a G, a C, and an E, right? So if this song is too low for your voice, you can obviously take a capo. Let's just move it at 1 fret onto fret number 1 there, right? And then just move the C here. So obviously all you've done there is take the same chord up 1 semitone. The whole chord is up 1 semitone. Okay? If we take that 1 more fret higher, it's up one tone, right? So when it's here then, I've got a completely different set of notes with these fingers than what I had when I played it here. Even though it's the same chord shape, it's a completely different set of notes. And I've gone up one semitone, two semitones, so it's one tone. All right? Now, again, because I know that this third finger here is the root note of the chord, I know that there is on the 5th fret of the A string. So does anyone know 5th fret A string? What note would that be? Again, there's a little bit of delay, so I might not get the answer through for about 5-10 seconds. But it's a D note, right? So I know if I play, here they come, here comes the Ds. So I know if I place this third finger from this C shape on a D note there, on a D note, this C chord then becomes, it's a D chord. It's the C shape, because don't forget the caged system, this is again just more cage system stuff. The cage system works on the shapes of the chords, and you can move those shapes around anywhere. In this instance, we're using the capo to move the shape around. So if you go through each of these notes here, you get a D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp. Again, I don't visualize these notes here as those specific notes. I see them as a root, a 3, a 5, a root, and a 3, just as I did here, because I don't have to, learn all the notes specific to this chord for D major and to C major. I can just use that kind of cage system, Nashville kind of type root, using the roots and the scale degrees, because I just think it's a lot easier. So obviously now I've gone from down there up to here. So if I was to sing a melody here, I can't sing very well, right? But there's the melody. Bum, 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 bum. Over here, bum, 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 bum. All right. If I put the capo on, 1, 2 frets up, obviously that melody is going to go up too. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, ba, da, da. Ba, da, da. Okay, if I take that up, say, I don't know, let's go up another 2 frets. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm going to use the same shape, same chord shape, right? But now which root note is which note on the guitar is this third finger root note on? So I know that they're going to start coming through. I know, Miles, a Welshman that admits he can't sing. I know, it's terrible. But I love it, though, and I do sing, just not very good. So that is an E note, right? Yeah. So this chord then is now an E chord. It's a C shape, but it's an E chord. And now where I started here, boom, 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 boom. I'm now up to here because my voice is too kind of low for my voice, say, right? It's not, but this will probably be too high for my voice, but say that's too low for your voice down here. You move it all the way up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, upwards. So you can see that it's gone up, right? All right then, so we started that. That's how you kind of go up. Go up if the song is too low for your voice. So how do you go like down then? So this is a question that comes up quite a lot. So it's kind of two ways you can go about it, right? You can either use the same chord shape, so and play it really high up here. So we know that the 12th fret here, everything on the 12th fret is the same as everything open, right? So if that's the case, then this, right, if I was to put a capo on the 12th fret here, like that, and play a C chord up here. Okay, I put a cap on the 12th fret, which is the same as open. I'm playing the C-shaped chord. Who wants to take a guess at what chord that is? I'll wait for those to come through because it's a little bit fiddlier. Yes, C. So this is a C, right? So this is one way that you can go down. You can C, place a capo there on fret 12. And then if you just take the capo down one fret, down to there, like that, and strum, I've taken the key down one semitone, okay? So I'm now in the key of B major, because this third finger here is now no longer on this C note, it's on this B note here. All right, and then I can go down another fret here, and go down again. So let's do that. So that original. Do 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 do. Okay, now if I take the capo down, say, let's take it down like say 3 frets. Maybe that's like way too high for me, right? I take it down to there. So now it's boom, 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 boom. So originally I'll go back to here. Da, 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 da. Down to here. Do, 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 do. So I'm singing that lower than what I was here, because essentially that there is the key of C major. And then each time I come down with the capo, obviously I'm taking the key down. The only thing is some people can, well, if you use this way here, it's quite nice because you get some nice voicing. You get some nice voicings up here. It sounds really high and sparkly, but some people struggle to get their fingers in place because the frets are a lot smaller. So the other way to do this, right, is to think theoretically. So if you're playing the key of C major here, that's too, imagine that's too high and you want to go down. So if you know that the key of C major is too high, how would you go down? What keys would go down in pitch from C major? If, like, say, D major is going up, C, D, what goes down, right? So B major goes down. Also, keep going down again. B flat goes down. Let's go down again. A goes down. All right? So let's say this C major here is too high again. Let's just try going down one step, okay? So we know we could do that up here by putting the capo on, right? And then playing the C-shaped chord here, where this root note here, then it's no longer a C, it's now a B. So when you take the capo down one fret from there, you're playing in the key of B major. Now, we can do a similar thing, but we're going to change the chord shape, all right? So rather than using a C-shaped chord, we'll change the chord shape. We'll use a G-shaped chord, which is often used, right? So if I was to play a G-shaped chord here, this second finger here is the root note. It's a G, okay? Obviously, I can't play it here though, because I need a C chord. I need a C chord with this G shape. So what I need to do is find a C note on the E string, which is up here. Somebody said earlier on fret number 8, and play a G chord. But if I play this, even though it won't sound too bad, to turn it into a proper C chord using the G shape, we need the capo on 5, right? So place capo on 5. Now this here, that's a C chord. That's a C note. That's my root note from the G chord, G-shaped chord, I should say. I strum that through, and that's a C chord. All right then, so we want to take the key down, right? So all we'll do, we'll just take the capo down one fret, like that, right? And then we take this G-shaped chord down 1 fret here. The second finger now is on a B note. So now I'm now playing down 1 semitone from C in B major. Okay. So that's how you would take the key down, right? If I want to take it down again, I can maybe take the cap down to fret 2, start here. Now this is on fret 5, so what chord is this? I know the messages are going to come through pretty soon. That is an A note, so now we're playing in A major. We've gone down from the C here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 semitones. Have a quick drink. So now this kind of way of doing it adds a little bit more complexity to things, because if you use the system where you're just coming back from the 12th fret, obviously if you're playing like say a C to a G, if you're just playing those two chords, every time you use the same chord shapes to go down, it's the same chords. It's that C-shaped chord to a G-shaped chord. Obviously now though, if I'll play this C-shaped chord again here, right? Sorry, this G-shaped chord, but it's a C from this note here. If I'm going to change this first chord, which was originally a C shape, to this G shape, I hope you're all following this. I then need to go to the next chord and make it whatever this chord was up here. So this is a G chord, right? So again, it really helps here if you learn the chord numbers in a key, right? So say you're playing in the key of C major, rather than always just referring to the C as the C, the F as the F, the G as the G, try to refer to them, as as numbers, right? The whole Nashville number system thing. So the C, that would be the first chord of the key. What would the F be? Anyone know what the F would be? You can count it up. C, D, E, F. So it's the 4th chord. And then the G is the 5 chord, right? So each time you do that, you start then to not just see the chords as individual chords, you start to see them in this pattern of, oh, this is a 1 to a 4 chord, which has a certain sound. And the same, if you played in the key of G major, right? Think always when you play the G, kind of call out, it's my actually, I'm doing a Boris Johnson there, aren't I? There's my first chord, right? So what would the 4 chord be? 4 chord is going to be G, A, B, C. Okay, G, A minor, B minor, C, I should say. Okay, C, and then it goes to D. So I'm thinking every time I'm playing G, I know my 5 is the D, I know my 4 is the C, right? So then just to go back to our little example up here, when we played up here originally, we played a C to a G, right? Which was a 1 chord to a 5 chord. C is the 1, C, D, E, F, G. G is the 5. So if we come up here, right, we've changed chord shapes now. So the G is the 1. We've got to find the 5 chord, right? So G, A minor, B minor, C, D. All right? So I'll just grab my pen. So we're going to be playing a G chord, so I'm talking about shapes again here. We're going to play a G shape chord to a D shape chord. Okay, so G to C. So what I'll do on my looper pedal, I'll just play. I'll play a C chord here to a G chord here, right? 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So C, G, right? Now what I'm going to do I'm going to place the capo on fret 5 because that's going to allow me to play this G-shaped chord here with the root note on the C, which actually makes it a C chord. My 1, and then, so you can see the same to this G-shaped chord, this D-shaped chord, which are actually, that's a C, and that's a G. Kind of work over it. So if you know that the G-shaped chord and the D-shaped chord then are the two chords that your song consists of here, then you can obviously then start taking it down. So you can play it here. So I've then taken it down from C, and I've taken it down now to B flat, because this note here is a B flat. And I'm still sticking with the 1 chord to the 5. This is the 1 chord, which is a G shape, to a 5 chord, which is a D shape in the key of, when you're thinking in the key of G major. So that there then is, hope that makes sense, guys. That's kind of like, yeah, doing it both could mean anything. But have you seen that what you call of him playing the acoustic guitar? And like the capo is like up here, it's a classic, and he's like kind of playing this. He doesn't realize that there's a capo on there, or that the capo does anything, I don't think. But anyway, so that's kind of like how you can use a capo there to change the key going upwards. It's quite straightforward to go up. You just kind of like move it up the fretboard, and then to go down, you can either go up to the 12th fret and come back, or you can change the chord shapes and look for those root notes and try to learn, you know, the 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7 chords for the different keys, especially the main keys, you know, C major, G major, D major, etc. Okay, so what else have we got on here, guys? Let's just see if there's any other questions coming through. Okay, no, that's all good. All right, so what else have I got? Okay, so reading notes on a stave. So student name, on time. Question, please explain the reading key for notes on a stave. The reading key. That means the key signature. I'm struggling to understand it from the lesson. Are we counting up or across? So I think that must mean, the reading key must mean the key signature. So it's really, you know, it's useful to learn. It's useful to learn the names of the notes on the musical stave, and that it was something that I learned like years and years and years and years ago, like maybe like 20 years ago, and a little bit beyond. I did a little bit of classical guitar, and it was really, you had to know it because classical guitar is kind of sight reading off a musical stave. But over the last, say, 20 years, I've not used a musical stave like to read music at all. So it's good to know, to understand it and know it. But unless you need to know it, as in someone's going to give you a piece of music and you've got to read it, sight read it, or someone's going to give you a cool classical piece and you want to learn it, and you want to look at it and work the notes out through what's on the stave. I've never had to do that because all the music that I like there's always kind of been it's always been tabbed, or use my ears to figure it out, or there's lessons on it. So I've never been like, if I wanted to learn like a Chili Pepper song, I've never gone, I'm just going to buy the music score for that. I've always kind of like used the score along with tabs so I can see the rhythms. And actually, a lot of the time I kind of just put the song on, and I'll either try to work it out if I'm in the mood, or I'll use the tab and then I'll use my ear to hear how it goes. And a lot of the time, if I'm learning the song, I know what the song is anyway, so I don't have to like listen to the song. I can just figure it out. But so I think you're referring to like the key signature, I think. So if we were to let me get up. Okay, so treble clef. Let's bring this down to here again. So, do you know what? I have not even written a treble clef for so long. So this might be a bit not bad. So treble clef, right? So if you're looking at, the first thing you've got to understand is just the names of the notes, right? So let's use maybe a different pen. One thing they did with us was every good boy deserves football, but some boys don't like football. So every good boy does fine. That's another one I've heard. Okay, every good boy does fine. All right, so they're the notes that are on the lines of the stave here, right? So you've then got spaces as well, and that's an easy one. That's just face. All right. So one of the first things you've got to do, I hope you can see that, like if you want to memorize this stuff, well, what I remember what I used to do kind of in college, actually, I would always remember the middle line. Where is it? There, which is a B. And then from, where's it gone? There. So from this B, I could always then count up. The next space would be, oh, sorry, this is backwards. I'm going wrong. The next space would be the C. And then the next one up would be on the line, which would be a D. The next one up would be the E in the space. So it goes up line, space, like that. So you can either just remember the notes on the line and come up with like an acronym or something like every good boy deserves football, or you can go in the spaces and come up with like, say, it just spells the word face. Or you can just remember what I did. I just remember the middle one, and then I was able to kind of count up and count back. When I was doing kind of classical guitar stuff, I got those down really, really well, really fast, and I could pick them up quite quickly. But I've not used this stuff for a lot of years, you know, the whole kind of like notation thing, and you just forget it essentially. It's really, really, unless you use something, you're kind of gonna forget it. But if you remember that middle line is B, you're always going to be able to figure them out. So once you know that, there, to find the a key signature, right? So if you've done like the circle of fifths and all that kind of stuff, so if you know your circle of fifths, if we think, let's keep it super simple to start, we'll do a couple of keys here, right? Let me just draw out another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That. Okay, so who can tell me, let's keep it super simple, how many sharps or flats we've got in the key of C major? How many sharps or flats in the key of C major? I know a bunch of you are going to know this. Richard is the king of the circle of fifths. Yeah, 0, right? So if you're playing something in the key of C major, right, then I don't know, say we look at this here, say we play this C note here, right? I'll write the letter, and I won't put notation, I'll just write the letter in, right? That there's a C. We'll have a C there, and then you play that note on the guitar, which will be a C note, fret 1 on the B string. And then at the start of a musical piece here, you'll get like sharps or you'll get flats. So in the key of C major, there'll be nothing there because there's no sharps or flats. But say I'll just cross that out actually. Say we're now playing in the key of G major. How many sharps or flats in G major? How many sharps or flats in G major? So there's 1 sharp, and I know this is going to come through now. There's just a delay. Yeah, and what is that sharp? Can somebody tell me what that sharp is? It's the F sharp, right? So on here, the way that you would let people know that they're reading a piece of music that's in the key of G major is by writing out what we would call a key signature. So what we need to do is find the F up here, which is on this line here, right? And then draw a sharp. You can see it just there. So if you had a bit of piece of music, right? Treble clef and a sharp there on that F line there, you're playing in the key of G major. So now what happens is then every time you play, say an F, so say you play like an F there, right? Then if you're sight reading it, you would play an F sharp note. See that properly? You play an F sharp. Every single F you see is an F sharp note, unless something is added to it, a natural sign, right? So let's just do one more. Let's do A major. How many sharps or flats are there in A major? Three. Yep. And what are they? Okay, let me just yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure. So somebody was asking about, Heck was asking about, could they put this F sharp here, like on that one? It's not that I've not done this stuff for Young, so I just did a quick check, and no, it's always going to put up here. Okay, so 3, and what are they? F. Wait a second. So we've got 3 sharps in the key of A major, C, D, F. So think about it again, right? We've got F. Yes, there we go. Squire F. Ooh, not F, C, B. Someone's put C sharp, F sharp, and G sharp. Yeah. Yeah. So I would try and order it in the way that they would come across in the circle of fifths. So C, there's no sharps or flats. G is 1, is F sharp. D, F, C, G, D, D, there's 2 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, F, C. Then in A major is F, C, and G. So I would order it that way there. So if we know that the 3 sharps in A major are F, C, G, right? Then on here, we've got to put those sharps in at the very, very start. So if we come back here and look at this here, we've got F, we've got C there. So I'll put a little that there, F, C, G. So what do you call it? Okay, so we've got those. Oh, I can't see that. There you go, F, C, and G. Let me just make sure that I'm definitely kind of jotting those down. Oh no, okay, so my bad. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Use it or lose it, right? So that G, it'd be that G there. So after that F there would be a G on the space above, and that's where that goes there. So when you see these 3 here, F, C, and G, you know then with your circle of fifths, you're in the key of A major. Pardon me. And that's kind of like, that's how key signatures work. But like I said, with key signatures and understanding this stuff, I think you only really need to kind of understand it if you're going to be reading music and things. Otherwise, like I said, the easier way of going about playing the notes in the key of A major is to use the number system, right? So there's my A, and again I'm just using 1 to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 3, 5 to 6. And then you can play things like play my 1 chord, my 5, my 4 chord, 1 chord, 5 chord, 6. So all that there that I was just playing was consisting in the key of A major. It was consisting of the notes in A major, which included F sharp, C sharp, and G. F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. But I didn't need to know that on the guitar. What I needed to know was my shapes and what notes kind of sat around that shape. And that goes for whether I'm kind of like soloing something or whether I'm playing chords, etc. So that's kind of key signatures there. But like I said, you know, in regards to writing it out and remembering all that stuff, it's cool to learn. But if you don't use it, you're going to probably more than likely forget it. But it's still good fun to learn. Okay, cool. So I think we're up to an hour there, guys. So just double check there's no questions I missed out on the original list. Reading notes on the stave, time signatures, learning the fretboard, transposing using a capo. Okay, so that's all the questions there, guys. So I hope this helped, and I hope you enjoyed the session, and all the best with it all. And if you've got any more questions, just ping them along in the community, and yeah, we'll see if we can answer them there too. All right, well, cheers, guys. Take care. Thanks for coming along. Hope you had fun. I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.